Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you're doing wonderful. Welcome to Unlock Church Online. This is where Joey, Lily, and we have a great, fun conversation. We come right out of the last video you just saw, if you're on my channel, which was teaching Lily how to go much faster on her one wheel. And then today we discuss something that will make your life better and make you better at life. So that's where on this channel we separate the two thoughts, the two things of the day. We put a link over there so you can click and come hang with us. Lily, how'd you feel on your first lesson of going faster? Do you feel like you can go faster now?
Oh yeah. I feel like the little pointers really helped me. But that is anything in life. And I feel like so often we forget it when we're scared to do something.
But will you remember it when we're on the road? Like when we're in an actual race, will you remember these things as
Here's
Joey he's coming after you. He said Tuesday he's going to beat you, right, Joe?
That's right. Yeah, it's not happening. She's not coming for me.
If we're on the trail I practiced on, I think I have somewhat of an advantage. But if we go to a different trail, I'm going to be a mess. I'm going to be like, what do I even do?
Yeah.
Only what, Joe?
The only chance she has in these trails is hills. It's the only chance she has.
And I'm not.
Otherwise, I'm coming for her.
I'm probably not going to be on a GT either.
So do I need to teach you, Joey?
Yes, you need to teach me how to use
ride hills.
Yeah, I think that's the next video, and then we see who learned better.
Yeah, I feel like you have kind of, but like you just like. It's the gentle, like,
you
don't go too fast and then slow down and then speed up a little bit.
You're smashing it too hard down the front. That's the end of the day. I get it because it's like, but I want to go fast. And so you're smashing it. But in smashing it, it just doesn't work well for you. And so that is Lily's chance to pass you. I mean, usually at this point, I'm well beyond you, and it doesn't matter to me what happens behind me. It's a fight for second always. I'm just messing. There's a good chance that I lose as well. But we are racing the trail. We have not picked the trail yet. We're gonna go somewhere here in Minnesota and go race on Tuesdays. So it'll be a good old-fashioned race through the trails, probably with a 5-second penalty situation where if you fall, you have to count out to 5. It'll be great. So,
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Should be a good time. Before we move on, we should actually if you watched last week's episode on this channel, we were pointing out Joey's T-shirt situation, and it was Dad Power, and it was empty, and we were all perplexed by it. Even himself was perplexed, but it was Father's Day, he wore it. But then we found out later from his wife that actual T-shirt that he was wearing is a pajama shirt. Then it made all the sense in the world that
Joey.
It's a T-shirt for bed that, yes, you would be drained in power at that point. I get it.
Yeah, it was pajama day here.
Yes,
in the studio. You know.
So, I'm sorry for giving you such a hard time about your pajama shirt.
It's all good. Shirt. Hey, I had no idea.
Okay.
Like, what makes a pajama shirt a pajama shirt?
Well, I would
say they're like softer material, like a little bit more.
No, what?
Yeah, like a little more cozy.
I've never even thought of that. Like, to me,
it was pretty soft. But
yeah, come on. You just know. You're like, is this pajamas?
No, I just go to sleep. I mean, in a T-shirt and board shorts. That's
but I'm saying when clothes are designed specifically to be pajamas, I think that they're intentionally made with a softer fabric.
Okay. Hey, so I'm seeing everybody saying good news from Dan. What's the news?
The news is that they had COVID in their home and now they're COVID-free. And he's been dealing with some skin cancer, had 2 surgeries this week, and he says his face is jacked up, but he's cancer-free. That's good news.
Dan, you're still cute,
awesome.
Man.
Oh.
You're so cute, man.
I was wondering why you were quiet.
Don't.
I was like, what is he about to say?
Well, I just letting Dan know that he's so cute. He's just
that's good stuff. Seriously.
Make sure you wear that surfer hat when you're out there on your farm there. But it's good to hear. That's good. We've been praying for you and your family, and so that's really cool to see. I see that we have. Let's just go through a little bit shout outs in the chat today. Obviously, we have Dan Woodham.
He says I'm blushing.
We got Dwayne Runs in there. We got Nick Orlando. We got Michaela. That is Joey's wife. She watches to make sure that Joey, when we ask things about shirts,
She corrects me.
yeah, she makes sure we get all the details that we're trying to get. Joey doesn't know those
It
details.
had matching pants with it, Joey. That is a pajama shirt. She said.
I didn't know that.
What's the pajama pants look like?
I have no idea.
Oh man, can you just wear the whole outfit next Sunday, please?
Yeah, baby. No.
Oh, we have Kayla Lilly in the house. Nick Orlando in the house. We also have Joseph Baker. We have, who else do we got in? Mary Mendenhall. That's my mom. If you didn't know, just say hello to my mom.
Hey,
She would
Mom.
love it. Let's see. Who else did I see? I saw Jordan.
Jordan Altman's in there.
Yeah, in Duluth. That's way north in Minnesota. Not way, but it's a couple hours north from here. So good to see everybody. It's going to be a fun morning. We're going to talk about how do you, or what do you value? Like what's important to you? What matters to you? We got Dwayne coming in here shortly. Dwayne's a guest that we have from a remote location, which he currently, well, we'll talk about it when he gets here. But before we do that, we have like I don't know, it's like maybe 25-second clip of Last One Wheeler Standing.
go.
It's a trailer to whet your appetite that we'll be releasing. I think it's like July 26th situation going on. That is today the 26th, by the way.
Yes.
It is. I think it's my mom and dad's wedding anniversary. So, Mom,
Happy anniversary.
happy anniversary. If it was the 24th, in my world, it's 26th, so I'm not late. Happy anniversary. Okay, nonetheless, the 26th of July, we will be dropping the first episode of The Last One Wheeler Standing. There's so much drama that took place. This is a competition we did here in the Northern Gauntlet Trails. We had 15 racers. We had adults and Groms racing head-to-head. We had pints and GTs all smashed together. There were no categories. We said it's not the one wheel that matters. It's the one-wheeler that matters. And so we just put them head-to-head to see who could conquer each other and who could handle the pressure. It was such an event. We had tears of pain where people crashed, and we had tears of disappointment.
Tears of pride. from this girl.
All captured on camera. I mean, we told everybody from the get-go, if you're gonna get emotional, you're gonna get a camera in front of your face. And so, I mean, talk about you're trying to deal with you got beat, and then the camera comes. How do you feel right now? I don't want to talk about it right now. That's what we got going on. And we're like, you signed a waiver. But we'll get, Dwayne is calling, so while we do this, we'll get him loaded up. Check out the Last One Wheeler Standing trailer right here. We'll be right back.
That was awesome.
Effort in life makes the dreams work. Getting after what you want to do in life. Do you have
Yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't way faster.
That's okay. He's your brother now, so you got to turn and root him on, right?
Yeah.
I tried them about 5 minutes ago.
And how'd that go?
I drew blood already.
Already?
If one of the competitions are fall count, I got it.
That would be called Last One Wheeler Standing, and it is such a fun race. The videos can be spectacular, so don't miss those things. You can just, hopefully you got the drama already in it. Lily, Joey, and I, we got to race a handful of times, but most of the time we were racing around trying to film people
It was fun.
doing the different events. And I want to talk heaps about it, but we're not going to. But that hopefully gets you excited. Something to look forward to. That will premiere on my channel right after camp, because we're going to use all of that video curriculum at camp, which is pretty cool. Last thing we want to do, if you're local and you're watching, we're doing a group ride this afternoon. It's going to start at about 12:15. 12:15, we're going to have hamburgers and hot dogs for free to eat. And then we're going to go on a 6.5, 7-ish mile group ride today. It's pint friendly. Show up at the Man's Theater in Champlin, Minnesota. There is a picture from our last one. We'd love to have you. It would be a joy and a pleasure to ride with you. So come hang with us. It will be an experience on a beautiful, beautiful day in Minnesota. So that's your invitation in case you... Last month, and we had people come in from Wisconsin to ride, which was crazy. That's an hour and a half drive.
That's a state over.
But to some, if you're 10 minutes, like right on the border, but that's an hour and a half drive for a group ride in hamburgers and hot dogs. And I'm just going to be honest. The hamburgers were not that good to drive.
They were unreal.
No, to drive an hour and a half,
I would have
you would have not.
not.
Yes, thank you for being honest.
But I would have for the people and the community. So
Yes, and that's what I think people came for. All right, we got Dwayne. We got the one and only Dwayne,
the wisest to ever live.
the wisest man.
That was fake news.
Oh,
but he
wait.
is wise.
So then you just came right back and like pretty much smacked him in the face.
Yeah,
Dwayne,
but he's gonna say it's not me. It's King Solomon, his wisest man.
I
That's
don't think
facts.
he would have said that.
That's straight facts.
How you doing, Dwayne?
I'm good. I'm good.
Great.
Good morning.
Good morning. I like how we were just talking about you right in front of you. Like we were talking like you weren't right here. Yeah, it's okay. But Dwayne is in a remote location. He is in Champlin Theater, or Champlin, Minnesota. It's the theater that we will be live at 10 o'clock for Unlock Church. But Dwayne, your days are limited there. You have like, is this your next to last Sunday, right?
Yes, next to last Sunday in Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
Sounded so morbid.
What? No.
Days are numbered.
Where are you headed? Give some details to that for those that are watching, because one day you're gonna just pop in and we're gonna go all the way from, where are you going, Dwayne?
He's not gonna look like where he is right now.
Yeah, so my family and I will actually be packing up the U-Haul and moving across the country back to our home state of Mississippi.
Mississippi.
What's one thing you could tell the chat and people watching about Mississippi that they might not know?
They may not know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hear people all the time talk about, hey, I've never been to Mississippi. It's like, you're really not missing much. Like, it's a very small town.
You just had a chance to sell it.
Wait.
I mean, there's not much there. It's
people are
very
gonna
small
know-
town.
People are going, well, then why are you moving back to Mississippi if that's the case?
Yeah,
No,
it's hard to be away from family. Definitely moving back for family, but ultimately, it's what like we felt led to move back. Like we felt led to move up here. It felt like we got a calling from God to move up here, so we have a calling from God to move back.
Love it.
So moving home, you're gonna. Dan goes a little closer to me. Yes, yes he is.
He's
Yes, he
gonna
is.
be, yeah.
Dwayne,
definitely.
Dwayne only lives in states that start with an M, so he's not
That's
coming
it.
to Florida.
Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, sorry. That means you could go to Maine,
Montana.
Montana.
Massachusetts. So you have some options, but those are your M's. Missouri. Yep, that's
Missouri. I'd go Maine. I'd go Maine over
Are you sure?
Missouri.
Do you know?
For
Have you
sure.
been there?
No, I haven't. But Northeast, it'd be something
think I would-
different.
it would
Moving
be
to the
very
Midwest
different.
from the South, like
Yeah.
it was different.
Michigan.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a big culture difference because you're going from
Malaysia.
Mississippi, which is hot, to Minnesota, where we get hot, but it's for a very short amount of time, and then you
Sure.
get really cold.
Someone in the
But
chat
see,
said,
like that's one thing I'm gonna really miss about Minnesota is the winters. Like that baffles people. But like I love the winter.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Actually having snow that stays around more than a few hours. It's nice.
Yeah. Someone in the chat said, you don't hear too many game shows with the grand prize of a lovely, all expenses paid trip to Mississippi.
Mississippi.
This is
That's
true.
funny.
Nice.
It's true.
I do believe I watched a movie. I forget what it's called, but the joke in it was Mississippi is glad that there's Arkansas next to it because
Yes,
Arkansas, like people from Mississippi say, well, we're not as bad as Arkansas. I don't live in either state, but that's what I'm just quoting for some movie I remember watching.
Yeah. Annapolis. Like
Oh, yeah, that's
I've
it.
quoted that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've quoted that before.
Yeah, because along the
Mississippian
entire
knows.
movie, it's "You're my Arkansas." I might be bad, but you're worse, so no one pays
What?
attention to me because.
I agree with that statement, but in the movie, it's "You're my Mississippi." Like
Oh yeah,
it's people
sorry.
from
you're so
Arkansas.
sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I got
Yeah.
it. I was trying to.
We almost had it.
you're trying to help me out.
I was trying to help him
Mississippi
out because if I said it the right way, which I didn't know I was saying it wrong, but if I was saying it the right way, I'd be putting down the state he's actually moving to. Nonetheless.
Yeah.
We'll come visit.
We will get to see you almost on the weekly here, so that's good news for everybody watching. And then those that are used to seeing your beautiful family in your face live, not going to be the thing. It's going to be, we're going to have a new New location, but the same Dwayne, the wisest man to ever have lived. Well,
one of the wisest,
in our opinions.
including you, Scott Mendenhall. You're also very wise.
No, but Dwayne is much wiser. That's why he's here.
I
Dwayne, he can't handle it. Him and Joey, that's where Joey and Dwayne are very similar. They're like,
Joey, you're so wise too. You're See, he's like, no.
hey, I do
Take
gotta
that camera off of me.
Yeah. Joey, you don't see yourself as wise?
Full screen for the JoJo.
No.
You're kidding me. Are you
What?
serious?
Maybe no, I don't. Not really.
Not really. Okay. All right. Hey, so today's topic, we're talking about what are you giving worth to? How do you know? Like, what's your value system in worth? Okay. So I'm going to give Dwayne, Lily, and Joey 5 things, and I want you to put them in order of importance to you. There's no equals. You can't go, well, number 2 is tied. You have to put them in order, okay? We're going to start with family, okay? Then we're going to start with fun. We're going to start with then faith.
Ooh, the F's.
Yeah, 3 F's right there. Boom, 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 okay? So family, fun, faith. Then we're going to start with, how do I get an F word for job? Finances. That's great.
Financial means.
Finances.
So we're saying that constitutes for all things like a
Yeah,
job,
finances,
employment,
job.
how
Yeah.
you live.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 4. Okay, and then your 5th one is, so you got family, fun, faith, finances, and then we're gonna go freedom.
So you're saying we need to put these in order of value,
Yes, there are your 5.
like
You got
our order of value.
your
Okay.
order of value, and then we're gonna talk about it. But while you do that, we're gonna play a song where we love to give a moment for you guys to reflect, think about, prioritize your mind space to just have a conversation with God over the next few moments, because we're going to talk about value system. How do we know we have the right one? How should we determine our value system? Giving worth to. In some cultures, you would say, what do you worship? That's not in our culture. We don't use worship too much as a even phrase. Unless it's a religious experience, we don't say, ooh, I'm spending all my time as a student on my Xbox, therefore I worship it the most. We would never say that. We would say, I love that. That's a hobby, so I give a lot of time to it. So we're going to create a value system, and then we're going to move on from there. So you guys are going to put those in your orders, and then you're going to talk about, like, if you guys all agree on it, great. And then we'll move on and see where there's some discrepancies in it. This will be a fun one because these are some hot topics. Finances are definitely hot. Faith divides things all over the place. Fun, people don't even think about. So some people are like, that's not even in top 5. Family, that's an easy one. Faith, again, some people that's pretty low. Some it's pretty high. So we're gonna find out. And then freedom, they're like, ooh, never even thought about that on the list, but we'll find out, okay? So check out this. This is a Raise a Hallelujah. It's a song that is, listen to the lyrics if you need a pick-me-up. If you're a Raise a Hallelujah. Hallelujah is like raise, in a sense we would say, in our terms, raise the roof. Get excited. Let's give some attention to. Another way of saying it, let's worship, let's honor. So let's raise let's raise the roof. Let's honor who, what. That's what we're talking about today. Here, go check out this song, and we'll be right back.
Here we go, I raise a hallelujah, come on. I raise a hallelujah in the presence of my enemies. I raise a hallelujah louder than the unbelief. I raise a hallelujah. My weapon is a melody. I raise a hallelujah
song. Like, I don't know if you read what I think Joseph said it earlier. If we can bring that down in our ears, we definitely cannot hear. There's always a transition. What we hear and you hear are very different. So if you ever hear something out there that's like, oh, that's too loud, we might not know that yet. And so it's okay. We are not offended by you saying, hey, there's an echo or whatever those things are. But was it Joseph that just read it? Yeah, Joseph Baker. I got to admit, after I watched my first episode of this a few weeks ago on YouTube, I've been putting good stuff in with worship music on my woodwork. It's been a game changer.
Love it.
I love that. Like that. Like that's what we're talking about. Is that style of music, which is called worship. That's the genre. If you're gonna look it up on iTunes, and we're gonna talk about worship in a sense, and that's why we're talking about this value system. I wonder at home if you did the same thing. If you put these things in order, in your opinion. Are we going to tell you got it wrong? No, we'll let you decide that. We're going to see how we line up. And so if you're just tuning in, we have Joey, Lily, myself, and Dwayne here. We've given 5 Fs to all of us to put in order. In these were just randomly freedom, faith, /friends. I should have been in the /friends situation there.
Faith, family / friends?
Yeah, so family and friends are the same. Like, to me, it's
Got
like...
it.
Then we go fun, faith, or no, I already said that, finances. Okay, so they're your 5 Fs. So we're going to do, Dwayne, what did you put at number 5? We're starting at 5. What did you put at 5 in your list of 1 being the most important, 5 being the least? What's 5?
Okay, so 5, the least is fun.
Fun. Wow. Okay, Dwayne. Okay, Joey, what was your 5?
Fun.
Fun. Lil?
Fun.
Wow. My 5 was finances.
Are you
Boom.
serious? Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah.
You're such an enthusiast.
No, like, okay, this will be
Love
good.
to have fun.
My
I think there's-
finances are 5 because it's like,
I thought that would be true for you.
but it's
Yeah.
like, I need that, right? We need finances, but oftentimes I'm not in control of all the things like when crap breaks.
Yeah.
If it gets too high on my list, I get even more stressed. So the further down the list my finances get.
You know what I think, like, even though it's still on the list, it's hard to comprehend and settle in the fact that, like, if it's the lowest on the list, it almost seems like it's the least of importance, and therefore it doesn't matter. And so I think that's why, like, for me, that's why I put fun, because it's like, well, family is above finances for me, and I want to be able to support my family,
That's what I thought.
you know?
Yeah,
But it's
yeah,
still
thank
on
you.
the list. Like, it's still important. But for some reason, when I see it at the bottom, I'm like, I don't know, my head just goes to, like, you could live without this. If that makes sense. Even though it's still on the list.
Ooh,
Like,
but
why
I
would do
think,
that?
see, I think if you're not, like, here's my like, yes, you might be able to, but, well, I guess, like, so fun for me is 3. That's where the fun sat, was 3. Joey's like, what? It's in your top 3?
I'm going to guess his top 3.
No,
Ah,
you don't guess
shoot,
mine.
I need to know now. I'm
I bet
so
it's
excited.
faith, freedom, and fun. Or
What
or
about
faith and
family?
family. Yeah, I don't know.
No, but
See, but there's so much explanation to the orders
Right.
that we
yeah,
all
for
probably
sure.
chose.
But a reason I say I think we get driven on just a quest of all things and it doesn't become fun. I think it's a mental issue all of a sudden that nothing matters anymore. You go into a headspace that's not a good spot.
I
When things are enjoyable, you have momentum. Boy, it's kind of, it just takes on its own. Man, when I'm doing something that most people would look at, that's hard work and that's not fun, and I make it fun and I'm thriving in it, then I don't work a day in my life. But if I'm dreading it, then I'm not motivated, which will ultimately impact my finances. For me, I'm not saying that you guys need to have the same order. I'm just explaining the. So I like what Kay Madison. It says, make money to live, not to live to make money. That's it essentially is like, for me, it's like, yeah, whatever I got, I'll do it. Okay, so Dwayne, what is your 4th? What was your number 4?
4th was finances. 4th was finances.
4th was finances.
Same.
Wow, okay. So you said same?
Same, yeah.
Same.
Same.
What was your fourth?
Freedom.
Freedom.
Oh, I have so much
See?
explanation for why
I know.
freedom sits where it sits on mine.
Right. It's like,
Like,
if you
so
don't have
much-
freedom, then you don't have the freedom to choose how you're going to get your finances.
And I have freedom above family because I want my family to be free, and I wouldn't want to ever and now people have done this. I wouldn't want to ever put my family in a position where they didn't have, like, I picture us in a bunker.
I
You
was,
know what I mean?
I was going
And I
back and
don't want
forth
that.
with my family and
So
freedom.
was
I put
I.
family before freedom.
I was
but,
too. I put it back and forth
But
twice.
I was going back.
I gotta
and forth
stand
too.
up here.
I put it back and forth
I'm about to
twice.
go off.
I want my family to be able to live in freedom, not financial freedom, but I don't want them sitting in a bunker eating grains of rice. Now, we could survive. That's why faith is on
Hey,
top.
here's the deal. Here's the deal. Freedom, like, it's a thing.
Is never free.
It's a thing, but I think we are thinking freedom as in United States freedom, which I love. I got a tattoo for those that, I got to show you so you know.
gosh.
I got it tattooed right there. I got the red, white, and blue. I love my country. But when I think about freedom, I think of freedom in Christ. I think who the Son has set free is free indeed. Therefore, I will not be defined in my freedom by what country I
So
live
your
in.
freedom is at the bottom?
My freedom is sitting there at number 4.
Oh, I see.
I want it. I
Gosh,
love it.
I
But it's not the
agree.
driving thing. Like, if I'm stuck in a bunker, I better figure out how to have fun. And here's the deal. It's like my freedom isn't above my family because, hey, I can't. I don't get to control all things in the United States. But I am free not because where I live. I am free because of who I know.
That's good.
See, you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
Like, we get locked in, like you were saying, bunker, great illustration, puts us into a headspace. But freedom is not necessarily, at least when Jesus walks into the scene, yes, it's physically we want to be free, right? I get it. I'm all for that. I'm not downplaying, hey, put me in jail. But man, the most encouraging and positive book in the Bible was wrote from a prison cell. He was in chains. He was in prison, yet he was the most positive on life in his relationship with God. As a follower of Jesus, freedom is in Christ. And it just comes with prepackaged with faith as long as we get the whole thing. Now, here's the deal. Now, I'm not looking for all of you to agree with me. You can push back on it. We're having somewhat of a conversation, but I did use a verse. So if you're coming at me, you better have some kind of Jesus words. Just Dwayne, do you hear what I'm saying on that? Do you want to push back on the freedom thing?
I see where you're coming from. I completely understand where you're coming from, and I think as we have the conversation, we can all kind of see kind of where we're coming from. So I'm not going to push back on you. Our priorities are a little different, but ultimately, like they align. Like they're spot on. Like I definitely agree with that, and that's one of the things to where it's. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and I again, it's a bit of like I lured all of you in, right? Because I knew, I
Had
would.
some time to think.
Yeah, I'm not sitting here and had one song to think about it. Like I've really thought about it. I've thought about it since 2020. Of like, it just doesn't rock me when somebody's telling me I got to do this or that. It's like, okay, I'm not defined by what happens to me physically because of my hope in Christ. And I was reading Romans the other day. Paul goes off about where our hope sits, and I was just like, I was highlighting the mess out of that. At some point we'll talk about. Okay, so Lily, what sits at 3 then? Because you just did
Family sat at 3.
sits at 3 because 2 is what? Freedom.
Because I was thinking about how I want to be able to provide that for my family. Well, in reality, it's not me that provides that. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I get it. It's a tough spot, like, because it's hard when you see it on a piece of paper. Freedom means I would trump people for freedom.
But the heart was that the people in my life would have that. Like, that's how I saw it.
You would give up your freedom for your family.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right, I got you. I see. But on paper, because it's not sit there, it would be held to the reader how to process that. Okay, Dwayne, what was your third?
Third was freedom.
There was freedom. Lily's family.
Yeah. I
Joey?
went back and forth on that.
Mine was freedom as well.
Freedom sitting at 3. So we're all very, very close. Okay. Joey was 2.
Family.
Dwayne, 2.
Family.
Lily.
Freedom for my family. I was thinking about my family, not myself. But you
Let
all
me
can't.
clarify.
Yeah, but you all can decide whether or not you believe that. Which just doesn't matter. It doesn't
Do you
matter.
feel like we're coming at you all of a sudden?
No, but that was like genuinely my thought. I switched it around twice and I was like, no, I want my family to have freedom. Like I want them to live in the freedom I feel every day. But the reality is what you were talking about earlier. The only reason I feel free every day is not because I live in America. It's because of the freedom I have in Christ. So, that's like faith and freedom are at top for me. And that might be like, I want that to be just like what is taught in my family when I get to raise one, that having faith in Jesus Christ gives you freedom, because who the Son sets free is free indeed, and that's why we can live as a family in freedom as we follow him.
Yeah, and Jesus...
Like, that's like, I think what my thought process was.
But Jesus talks a lot about freedom. Paul talks about freedom. There's freedom in Christ, but not freedom to do everything you want. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago that the culture in Jesus' day, in Paul's day, would say things, everything is permissible, not everything... And then Paul came and said, right, you're saying everything's permissible. You can do that because you're freedom of Christ. But then he came in and said, okay, that's what culture says, but I'm trying to tell you it's not all good for you. It's not all beneficial. And so there is, inside a relationship with Jesus, despite what the world would say in being in a relationship with Jesus, there is freedom. It's prepackaged into faith.
Right.
Prepackaged. It's part of it. It's not separate. We especially in the United States, we have separated it. And so then all of us sounds like, number one, we say faith. And faith is the way I would explain it, and I think this is where our relationship with God through Jesus. That would be number one. We say faith because it fit in the 5 F's. This is a fun thing for you guys to always do every year, to really sit down and then, a great way to see if this all adds up. Keep track of how you spend your money. That would be a tell sign, because you'll be able to track the numbers where, okay, if it's truly my number one is my relationship with God, well, is your money going towards something like that? Second, is it family? So are you providing something for your family with your finances? Like, are you taking care of them? Then, like for me, fun. Okay, fine. Am I spending money on fun, or am I creating things that are fun? I mean, you can tell, like, if you just watch on my YouTube channel, it's like, okay, wait, you have this thing in your backyard, these trails. Why? Because I value fun so high that we could have a miserable day as a family, but we could still go right out our back door and go through these trails. And it cost me very minimal to do. It took a lot of time to do, but very little finances to do, because I did all of the work. And sometimes somebody had a big old backhoe, and I just said, hey, do you think on your lunch break you could come and help? And they came over, and I was like, I'll give you a couple bucks to do it. And I did it, and then I gave them lunch, and they're like, no, you don't need I don't need any of your money. And they cleared out a lot of our trails for it. So it's just cool stories of like how it happened, and what I was creating was the fun factor for my family and my friends, and to be able to shoot these videos because it's up there. And then the finances are low, so when you want to create fun things, you got to figure out how to do it all by your hands most of the time. You gotta look at it and go, I'm not going to be, finances are not going to be my limiting factor. I'm going to create it. So I think all of you should, in the chat, you should write out faith. Or here's the list in no order: freedom, family, fun, faith, finances. Right, where? Take a check. Where is that? Because wherever you put your time, or it should be now, your time should be allocated to that. Now let me ask this question to all of us. If we said, now this would be a fun exercise. Now go by, we're going to do this actually. We're going to do this. Are you ready for this one, Dwayne?
Let's go.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to play another song, and this is I Love You, Lord. It's a bit of a slower, mellower song. But what we want to do now is we have 24 hours in a day. Put how much, not you hope to, but how much time in an average 24 hours a day do you put into your top 5 list? in the hours you do. So if you work a 9-to-5 job, you got to put 8 hours by finances, we would say, okay? So that's job related. You got to put that in there. Put the hours spent average. This is going to hurt a little bit. I'm just going to tell you, all of you, myself included.
How do you do freedom?
I'm being kind of, it's not sarcastic. I don't know what's the word for it, but like, what if you consider your job fun? Can that be like fun?
So what do you want to split?
Okay,
50-50, 4 hours fun?
No, then it would be the same. It'd be the same amount of hours, wouldn't it?
But no,
all right.
no. I would say work. You might find it fun, but did you go and look for your job and go, is this a fun job, or is it just you find joy in what you do? That is still finances.
So the fun portions should have a different amount of hours.
All right.
Yeah, fun would be like you go paddleboarding or fishing or running.
How do you do freedom?
Well, that's for you to define.
That's confusing. I'm putting 24 hours because your girl's free all day long.
Wait,
That's
was
it?
that?
I agree. Yeah.
Thank you, Dwayne. Dwayne and I are always on the
Yeah.
same level. I just
Same-
thank you,
same
Dwayne.
here.
I just so appreciate it when
Well-
all the time Scott's like, what about this?
Yes, Dwayne.
Well, let me ask you a question, Scott, because this kind of goes back to the question I have. Is you are a pastor, so would that go down as your finances, or does that go down to your faith?
Well, you know, I gotta say it's work. A pastor is a job. I went to school, right? It's like anybody goes to school, get a degree, you get a title, right? I would not put it into my faith. So that's just how I've always understood it for myself. It keeps me out of like, oh man, all I do is work. So like when I read my Bible in the morning in quiet time, well, this is just work. Sometimes those lines, just like all of us, right? Joey's saying, but I find my job fun. That's great. So hopefully in these top 5,
I'm just like averaging.
like top 5 is not harsh lines, right? Like, okay, this is the fun part of the day. This is not where I go work and it's not fun, right? It should all bleed into each other. It should be, I'm going to use a video editing term, cross dissolve into it where it naturally fades into. And so I would see it as a separate. So you're going to do that while we do this song. You're breaking your 24 hours up. If there's a wrestle and attention, that's the point. That's the point. All right. We'll be right back after this to break this down for you. Again, this is a fun exercise for all of you to do. I hope you're doing this at home. All right. We'll be right back.
I lift my voice to worship you, oh my soul, rejoice, take joy, my King, in what you hear. And let it be a sweet, sweet sound in your ears. Oh, sweet, sweet and let it be a sweet, sweet sound. Let it be a sweet, oh sweet. Let this be a sweet, sweet sound in your ear. Oh, come on, where you are, lift up a sweet sound. Come on.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a very difficult exercise. It's very eye-opening. If you're doing this at home, this is gonna be something that you would totally enjoy. Okay, so and we're making this exercise up on the fly. I've never read this in another book. This is just us doing it, and making up on the fly is loose. Like, I knew we were coming in to do this today, and I hope you're doing it along with us. This is something that's just going to show you what you value, and then actually what you really value, because usually what our mouths say is not actually what our feet do, or what our heart says isn't what our mouth actually speaks in a sense. So it doesn't always line up. Okay, so you got 24 hours in a day, so you got to divide it up. Here's how I did it. Again, actually, we'll let you guys figure it out. Let's hear from Lily. She always
Guinea
likes.
pig. I'm the guinea pig.
Lily likes to.
If I go first, everyone's like, I'm changing really quick.
Lily likes to always point out she is the female species representative. She has said that in quite a bit of our videos.
Today I am.
Okay, Lily.
The only one.
The only one.
I'm fine with it.
There can only be one. Okay, Lil, what is in your God faith being number one?
Yeah.
Where
A day.
In a day, how many hours?
I would think I spend about 3 hours a day contributing to my relationship with
Now, how are you defining that?
my time in the morning is about an hour, and then I listen to like a podcast or a teaching that's about an hour. I listen to a book, and I listen to lots of worship music, and I've got lots of conversations that are sprinkled with Jesus. So I would say it's more, but I didn't want to brag. I'm just kidding.
Interesting. I like
yeah,
that.
I mean, like, truly, like, what are we doing that's contributing? Even, like, when I'm taking a walk and I see nature and I praise Jesus for it, his creation, like, that's all contributing to my faith, you know?
Yes.
So it's probably even more than we all realize, to be honest, if we're actually trying to outlive or live out this life of walking with Jesus.
Yeah, and again, I think what's fun to hear, because I didn't even think about that, all the podcasts and books that you read, like I didn't account for that, and I should go change but I'm not. I'm gonna stay where I'm staying. How about you, Joey?
Before I heard Lily, I was way down on the totem pole. I put 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Let me before you feel bad about yourself. I said 1 hour, and I'm a pastor.
Yeah,
so.
I said 30. But now, like you say, podcasts and stuff, like some days are longer than others because I do listen to some podcasts. And then, yeah, so it kind of depends on the day, but I would say average, it's probably about that 30 minutes, unless it's like I'm worshiping God in what I do in my everyday ordinary life.
Yeah.
So that's like all day kind of too. Sometimes I don't always do a great job of it. So,
but the mindset, you're saying that,
right?
Okay.
For sure.
How about you, Dwayne?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Joey just said there. Because ultimately I am a teacher. And like I think making what's important to God, what's important for me, is like that's why I do what I do, is because people are important to God. Like that's kind of where I was coming from. Like the way I parent, again, is all coming back to my faith. The way I teach is coming back to my faith. My finances is coming back to my faith. And I know that's a very, the way I coach is coming back to my faith, but that's a very, like, that encompasses everything. And I think I saw Nick saying that, 24 faith is, all of them. But I think for me, if just going by what you guys said, I think I would be along with Scott in an hour.
Okay, so to clarify for those that are at home going, why would Joey, Dwayne be saying what they're saying? Like when I work, man, I'm trying to do in a way that I'm working for God. Like I'm trying to do it in a form of my life at your feet, God. I'll do whatever you want. It comes from Colossians 3:23. This is a great verse. This is Paul writing to a group of people to make them understand, like whatever you do, he says, work heartily as for the Lord, not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. You are serving the Lord Christ. You are serving God. So whatever you're doing, you put it in the mindset as if you are genuinely, God is what, because he is, but not in a I want to smack you kind of watching, but in a pleasing way. Like we're trying to clean up our property here as Ryan, who's on the sound today, he's getting married on Saturday out here. And we're trying to make this property glow and make it beautiful to honor them, but also to make God smile down on what he created, that we would make it look like a little bit of heaven on earth. Like people walk in and go, why does this matter? Because it's like, God, look at what we've done with what you've given us. Okay. Why are we doing that? Because of Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work heartily as if you are working for the Lord and not for men. I'm not looking for men approval, men to look at me and give me thumbs up. I got to shut that off a lot because human nature is you want them to clap. Wait, good job. It's God, look down, am I pleasing you in what I'm doing? So there's that heart behind what they're saying. This isn't something you're like, am I missing something? Did they read that somewhere? This is genuinely a mindset of somebody following Jesus. This is where you find your freedom as well. Because we can get into these self-made prisons that are way worse than anything that a government could do. We get locked into these self-made prisons of what is the Joneses doing? I want to keep up with them. And then all of a sudden we miss out on what God's doing in our lives because we are in a prison. I put 1 hour because I just looked at, I set aside 1 hour distracted free most of the time. That's where I looked at it, is like 1 hour. This is just me. God, talk to me. Throughout the day, and I'm thanking God. Yesterday it rained middle of the day, and our grass needs a little bit greened up for this wedding, and it rained, and I was just like, God, thank you. Like in an attitude of just giving God worth at every point in the day. But I looked at 1 hour of podcasts I can throw in there and stuff, and I like that idea. That would bump that up a little bit, but because you only got 24 hours, you got to take that from somewhere else. Right? That's the tricky thing when you use 24 hours. You cannot, I'll just add a couple hours to faith because you only got 24 hours. Now, how did you guys handle average of 8 hours of sleep? Where do you put that?
The average?
Yeah, you got 24 hours. How does that fall in these 5 Fs?
You skip it.
You skip it.
Mine's just like written in. Mine is just written in, so.
Sleep is a part of all of it, man.
What, Joey?
But it is.
Like, you need sleep. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do this stuff. You're not going to be able to have fun because you're going to be groggy and tired all day. Yep. Finances, you're not going to be able to work a job because you're going to be falling asleep and not doing it.
I just didn't
Freedom.
overlap
I don't know
my
about
sleep
freedom.
time.
Family, you're not going to be a good husband, wife,
or friend.
Yeah,
kid, friend.
But to that, Lou, but how do you, so then you have 24 hours. 8 of it is you are sleeping.
Yeah.
So you have...
Yeah, I made sure not to cut into that time when I was writing.
So you just 8 hours, you subtracted 8
hours. 8
hours
is like in the abyss right now on my list.
So you're only working with...
Yeah.
16.
I'm working with 16-ish hours.
Okay.
Right.
See, now I put it inside stuff because I think I'm with Joey. If you don't prioritize some kind of sleep that's great for your body, everybody has different amounts that they need to be functioning.
So would you put it in fun?
Yeah, I put it between freedom and fun. I divide it.
Yeah, mine's just there.
Because I don't think you're going to feel very free if you don't want to move off the couch. And then in fun, I put my fitness because I find it fun. Right? So like I got 4 hours on each, freedom and fun. Because if I don't...
Oh, freedom?
Yeah.
Oh, I put 24 hours.
Yeah, look at that
because
woman.
I'm always free. If you're going to go and talk about freedom in Christ, to the sunset, free is free indeed, we're free forever, always, and into eternity. And so I put 24 hours.
Yeah, but you don't take advantage of that freedom if you don't have clarity in the mind, if you're
1,010%. Therefore, that's why my faith, that's where I get the clarity in my mind in the morning when I sit in solitude. And
okay, so how about family and friends? That's in the top 3 for all of us. I think Lily's the only one that put it at 3.
3 what? Oh, top
Family
3.
and friends is and then the others at 2. So how many hours with family and friends? Dwayne?
Yeah, family and friends. Ooh, this one, like, it's ranked 2, but like it's way down there. It's way down there in terms of actual time spent. So I mean, I would probably say 4.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not too far off of where you're at. I have 5 at the moment.
5 hours.
Mm-hmm. I just
Like you're just saying you spend time with your family or friends around 5 hours a day.
yeah, and we're talking averages. We're not talking about like some days,
Right.
you know, it goes off the crazy terrain. You know, your day off, right? So it is hard to take averages because my day off is 100% family and friends. I've really tried to start doing in the last month or so where I do no work, no nothing. It is just enjoy.
Yes.
And so that the average will hear us. It's difficult to do this, but what it does is it begins to reveal, as Dwayne was saying. You could hear in Dwayne's voice, he's like, on my list it's here, but when I look at it, it's like
it's challenging.
It's difficult. And so I get it, because when you look at my thing here, it's a little whacked, because when you go to finances, it's 8 hours. 8 hours, like the biggest thing I spend most of my time on is the thing I say is the 5th thing.
Yep. Welcome to America.
No, yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean, we're all in that. We're all working to support ourselves. That's why I think what we talked about earlier is finding a job that you love, that you enjoy, not to get sucked in that hole of like, I'm just working for the man. I think that that's a really dark, deep thing to get down into. So it's important to love what you do.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think for me, like, I mean, some of mine is upwards of 12 hours towards the finances, but you know, not choosing a career, not choosing a job that's based on, well, how much money does it make me? And this is what, you know, I have conversation with students all the time. It's, you know, yes, the money is nice, the money to be able to provide for your family and your friends or whatever. But at the same time, for me, what gets me through those 12-hour days, so like it's crazy, but you know, the job I'm doing is not for the money. So it's for my faith. It's for my, it's for my family. So it's, you know, while if we're breaking it down like this, it's really kind of hard to do, but ultimately, you know, it's for a bigger purpose than just the paycheck.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to clarify, and then I'm going to make it all blurry again, so hear me on this. I agree with what Dwayne's saying. Like, when you start trying to write it out on paper like this, it can become very like, if your heart is in the right spot, great. But here's the danger zone, is that you would go look at it and go, I got to justify what I'm doing because this does tie into here. So, like growing up, my dad didn't spend very much time with me. I can remember on one hand how many times my dad threw either baseball. I don't remember him ever throwing a football to play catch with me. He threw baseball a handful of times to me, and that was it. Not much more time. He would give me resources, money to go do things. That was fine. But and maybe that's why it's so down on the list, is like, I didn't want his money. I wanted his time. I wanted to go play catch. I wanted him to come to my football games and soccer games and all those things. That's what I wanted, is time, right? And so my experience kind of dictates the top 5 for me, and so would yours. But if we're not careful, we'll justify because of our past why we're doing something and go, well, my dad, man, he worked a job, he worked overtime. Why? He could give money and support the family so we could do whatever we want, which is great, fine, and dandy, and all of those things. But at the end of the day, if we're not actually physically present and mentally present with our people, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you have $1 million in the world, but relationally can't keep it together. I was just reading a book about some of the top CEOs in the world right now, and you would know them. And I don't want to say who they are because I'm not trying to point a finger at, oh, look at their life's just horrible. But those CEOs that are making the most amount of money are on their third marriage. I read that and go, well, that money's not worth it. To lose family and friends, but I have a big bank account. No, there's no peace in that for me. I'm not speaking. So it changes. I've got to change some things. And again, I look at finances 8 hours. I am a pastor, so my 8 hours, I'm a lot with friends and people, trying to point them to Jesus, trying to point them and help them in their things. 8 hours.
Sometimes it's more.
It's a lot more, but it's like if I go to where it honestly is, then I got my thing's really jacked up all of a sudden. It's more like Dwayne's, right? It's like, well, crap, 12 hours right there. Where do I go here and that? But it's like don't make your top 5 and then go 24 hours and then justify. Ask Jesus, okay, my top 5 and where I spend my time doesn't line up. What do I need to change? Because where you spend your most time is what you give the most worth to. There's just you can't argue that.
Yeah.
Whatever has your most time is where you put the most value in. Time is the only currency that we have. The exchange rate is not a dollar for dollar. It is not. It is the only currency that you don't actually get back at all. Time is it is a very costly currency. It's one that everyone has. It's a currency that is the same on every continent, in every culture, every demographic. Time is a currency that we're all spending. We just don't look at it like that. We don't look at, well, you got 24 hours, you don't get it back, you're going to spend it however you want. We need to, again, come back and go, okay, if faith is it, all of us need to increase our time on our faith. I'm not saying it needs to match 3 hours, 6. I'm not saying you need to go and become a monk. I'm just saying it needs to increase. All of us, it should increase. So this week it should increase. We should be picking up our Bible more this week. We should be reading and enjoying that a little bit more. We should be turning on worship music that actually reminds us about our faith.
Yeah.
Like, I love what Psalms 42 says. This is David writing. He's trying to change a mindset. He's trying to make a change. And this is David's words. We get this from the version on the Word on the Street. Lily, would you look up Psalms 42 in the NIV? 42, sure. 1 through 5. This is, and you'll see the contrast. This is Word on the Street. It's a guy that went and made it like rhymey and just, it's a creative way. I like reading the Psalms from this. Here it is. This is David's word. I'm desperate for you, gagging for you to be around. And this is him writing to God, saying, this is my mindset. I'm lost without you, desperate to be found. I need you like the athlete needs air, like a twin needs its pair. I need you like life needs to be fair, like a mother has to care. Vibrant God, got the craving for you. I'd brave the worst to quench this thirst, but where do I go to get to know you? Where do we rendezvous?
That's cool.
And it's like, that needs to be our mindset. That's somebody that's saying, I want more of you and less of myself. That's somebody saying, okay, I'm shifting my priorities. Where do I go? David goes on, all I've eaten is tears. All I've seen is through smears. So blurred, been up all night, my talk's so slurred. Then I heard these words, where's God? Where's he gone? Is he dead? What's wrong? Is it really absurd? Has it never occurred to you it could be true? God's through? But memories freeze the lie right there. Thoughts dredged up from my turning soul. I'm where? At God's headquarters in a leading role. How'd we sing full? How we'd sing full blast, how the bells would ring, and now at last the thoughts bring. ... Lil, what's it say in NIV? Like you can hear a struggle there. Like God, like I'm desperate for you, but where I can't see you, that's a lie. I'm gonna get it out of my thoughts. That is, again, a cool version. Lil, will you read just the first couple of lines of it, and you'll hear the difference.
So just right at the start?
Yeah.
I didn't know where you started. As the deer pants for streams of water, so my soul pants for you, my
Stop.
God.
That's where he wrote, I'm desperate for you, gagging for you to be around. I'm lost without you, desperate to be found. Like he's just taken the imagery that David wrote about a deer going to water and made it a lot more sense to you and I, because a lot of us live in iron jungles or concrete jungles. We don't see deers pant for nothing, nobody ever, right? We got to go to a zoo to see those things. And so when you read this, it's like, oh, that's what David's writing there. As a deer panteth, the deer's thirsty. I'm desperate. Are you desperate for God? Can you make a shift this week to put God a little bit higher in the priority list? I hope you love this exercise today. I hope for me, it's eye-opening. Like I look at there going, okay, I'm going to take this, and in my morning time I'm going to keep working through it and go, what should it look like? Dwayne, I think you have a cool advantage going into a new season in life. You're going to move. You really have a lot of freedom in the sense I'm going to change. You can change everything. Like you're going to move. You're going to have a different rhythm of life. You're going to have a different everything. You can change everything. You can say, I'm not going to work 12 hours. I'm going to work only 4 hours. I mean, I don't think you probably can do that, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like you can shift these things around, so it's a fun spot for you to be in. The rest of us, we got to look at, well, we don't have a big change coming up. How are we going to prioritize it? How are we going to get it done? How are we going to make these changes? And so I'm excited to hear how everyone in the chat handles this. If you would, man, if you can email us at info@unlockchurch. That's INFO @unlockchurch.com. I would love to hear your process on this. How are you feeling in this? How are you handling your top 5? It would be a fun conversation, and maybe we'd read a few of those. I think this is a fun exercise. I think today it was about us looking on paper is what we think we're doing, actually what we're doing and making those changes. So I hope it made sense to everybody. Dwayne, I hope you take this as you move to Mississippi and you take it and go, okay, this is how we're prioritizing our time. Does that make sense, Dwayne?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My wife and I just had a conversation about this yesterday about, hey, it's going to look completely different. We kind of get to have a clean slate and make it look how we want it to look. And I think having that intentionality going into it, new season of life, which I think everyone has different seasons of life. So being able to do that.
One of the nice things about being in the northern part of the states where you have seasons, I think every season brings a new start for everybody, right? Right now you're in the summer mode. When school starts, all of a sudden it's like, reprioritize, schedules change, and that's another easy moment in life to make changes is to follow the calendars. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for this season. I have more daylight, so I'm going to sleep less because I'm going to get after more during the day. It's all of those things can help us in the rhythm of life. So I thank you, Dwayne, Joey, and Lily for walking us through your top 5, and I think it's going to be a fun conversation throughout the week on these things, because I think it's like, okay, here's how I see this, and I bet you there's going to be a version 2 of this talk as we really process all this, and maybe a book. I feel like I could write a book about this.
You could write a book about a lot of things.
I could, but who's got time for that? That doesn't fall in my...
when you decide to
But that doesn't
fit it in.
fall in either of the 5.
Not in this season of life.
Lily wants to be the ghostwriter, though.
No, I want to write the introduction.
You can do that, but you'd have to be the ghostwriter. I need a ghostwriter.
I would be honored.
Okay,
truly.
Great. All right, so we love all of you. Let me pray really quick, and then we'll roll. Jesus, I thank you for everybody that's in the chat today, those that are processing this throughout the week this week. Man, will you speak clearly to us of how to shift our priorities to make you number 1? that we would do the Colossians 3:23, where we do everything we do to honor you as if working for you and not men, that our value system is driven from you, that we find value in what you think what we're doing. And then when we look at the paper that we're doing, that it would be, that we would make changes, that it wouldn't just be an exercise, oh, that was great, but there would be big changes in our lives that would make us more like you and less like ourselves. Jesus, we absolutely are honored to follow you, to be able to do what we do. Jesus, we thank you for the great report from Dan. May the scarring be minimal for his beautiful face, and we thank you that COVID is gone, and those that have not mentioned their needs, that you would show up in their lives and show off in their lives, that they would right now be, I need help in this area of my life. Would you begin to show them how you are answering that prayer? It might not be the way they're seeing it, but you're always at work. So may we have the eyes to see what you're doing. Jesus, we love you in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody, for rolling with us. Hey, before we sign off, we always like to give you guys an opportunity to give at Unlock Church. If you're new around here, this isn't just because it's what we do. We talk about it all the time. We're not going to get into why we do it. It's just part of our trust with Jesus. Like, yeah, you get it. So we make it super easy. You can text the number that's on your screen to give 77977. This is tithes and offerings. If you grew up in church, you know what that is. Tithes and offerings. So you can do that right there. It's through your phone. Text the word unlock to 77977. Lily, we mentioned it at the beginning. What's happening over where Dwayne is in just a few minutes?
Yes, we are going to have a church service live. So if you want to make your way over to Champlain Man Theaters in Champlain, or if you need to get in the car and drive an hour, come by 12 p.m. We're going to be barbecuing in the parking lot and then going on a group ride afterwards. Bikes, electric bicycles, electric skateboards, electric one wheels, electric unicycles.
Everything. It's going to be
Just
awesome.
come out. Come hang out. It is on our website, so unlockchurch.com. Then you can also find a whole lot of other information about the church behind what you just watched and experienced.
Yeah, we would love to see you out there if you can make it. We also have camp happening. Joey, do you know the dates of camp? July
21st.
No.
Dang it.
Close.
18th through the 22nd.
Yeah.
Good job.
21st was in there.
It is. You're right. You weren't. If they showed up there, they'd just be a little wee bit late, but nonetheless, camp's happening. It's gonna be sweet. Website should be up and running soon. I don't know. I didn't check if it's up and running today. Let's see really quick.
I looked last night.
And
it was not.
It's not. I put Unlock Church. What I'm gonna put Unlock Summer Camp this time.
Dun, dun.
I know. Thank you. Thank you.
The silence.
Oh, still, we can't figure it out, Joey. We need your help.
Aw.
Summer camp, we're trying to get people registered for it, but we're pretty stoked on that. It's our way of serving the community, all completely free camp. No one signed up yet, so we're in trouble. We're in a little pickle. All right, guys. Thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, my friend. We will see you next week. Right? Same location.
Okay. Yep. Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure.
See you guys.
We
Bye,
love you. We'll
See
see
you,
you in a few
Dwayne.
minutes, Dwayne.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a
everybody.
great Sunday, everybody. Adios.